let's do it this way, Mr. Bromwich. Do you have the backlog numbers for each district?
Do I have the backlog numbers for each district for plugging and abandonment?
For P&A work?
No, I don't.
Do you know what the backlog is?
I don't, no.
Okay. If you could, I would like you to submit to this committee specifically the backlog number of P&A work by district. Do you know what the average time frame for permitting a P&A job is?
I don't. We could do the math. I mean,
Okay.
4,000. We've got 4,000 that have been approved in a one-year period. We would have to know how many engineers are devoted to that. So it's a large number. They process a lot of these.
Well, they do. You know why they process a lot of them? Because in most of the districts, of course, depending on the workload, it's an easy permit. It's a 2-week permit. This is not a difficult permit. This is a permit that you like and Ken Salzar should like. You both have commented on that y'all like. It's a 2-week permit in most districts. It is a 2 to 3 month permit in New Orleans. Again, what I'm telling you is that you got a problem in the New Orleans district with P&A work. A lot of the P&A that needs to be done in the Gulf of Mexico happens to be in that district, in that region. It is not functioning down there. I'm asking you to please go down there and ask them, get these guys some help. Let the engineers in Lake Charles in Houston or Lake Jackson or some of the other regions do that work. That's why we don't want to give you any more money.
Well, Congressman, I will look into that, and if this has been a festering problem for some time, it would have been great if you would have advised me of that, so I could have looked into it.
Well, I did. In fact, I personally spoke to you at the end of the last natural resource hearing when you were here, came up to the table, said, look, we got a problem with P&As down in New Orleans. I mentioned it to Ken Salzar on March of 2011, and nothing's getting done. In fact,
you didn't mention that it was limited to the New Orleans district. Now I have something I can go back with and talk to my people about.
Okay.
You said you had a general issue with it. I said fine. I hadn't heard anything from you since then. Now I'll look at what's going on in the New Orleans district based on what you're telling me today.
All right. Let me ask, how much input have you taken from the industry on this reorganization?
From the industry, not a lot, although they have known about it since it was announced by Secretary Salazar, and I meet with them on average, individual operators probably on average 1 a week, and groups of operators on the average of 1 every 2 or 3 weeks. And I've spoken to large groups of industry personnel on more occasions than I can count, on which I've laid out the fundamentals of the reorganization and how it's going to work.
And have you requested input from them? Have you requested input from them to make sure that maybe, I mean, I know that government is just the answer to everything, but and we don't make mistakes up here. But I'm just wondering: is in your flow? Have you mapped the flow work between the two bureaus?
Yes.
Okay. What have you done to ensure that the efficiencies are going to work together? Not from a bureaucratic standpoint, but from a practical private industry standpoint.
Well, we want to have these agencies operate in absolutely the most efficient way that we possibly can. So our planning has been all about making these processes work as efficiently as possible and in making sure that we respect the interdependencies between the two agencies that are going to exist. For your average industry operator, Congressman Landry, from September 30th when there's one agency to October 1 where there's two, they're not going to see the difference because they're going to be dealing with the same people on the same issues that they've dealt with historically.
Well, and I'm just again, I just let me offer some advice. It's worth. I would just like more input from the industry in case they see any pitfalls, and so that we can make this seamlessly, and that if you're going to create two agencies, that they can work together for the industry.
Congressman, you weren't here. I specifically asked that question about what we were going to do about that, and I said that as October 1 approaches and as we're in the final phases of completing this, we're going to have a very aggressive outreach program with industry. We're going to hold workshops, public workshops that operators are invited to attend, so they know exactly where the different functions are going to be located. They can ask questions about that. They can get things clarified for themselves so that on October 1, it will in fact be quite seamless for them.